What's up, guys? How's it going? Miles here, checking in with another lowdown. Today I will be running over the kind of a intro to telemark skiing for the people out there who are interested in it or looking to try something new. You know, you've kind of always seen that skier underneath the chairlift, shredding it up, tearing it up. You're like, oh, kind of looks fun. Maybe I should give it a try. Or your kids are getting into skiing, or you're kind of bored of the setup you're on currently, or just kind of trying to look into something new, get on a telemark setup, and that's what I'm here to kind of run through with you guys. I have received a couple questions and things like that as far as, hey, I'm new, I'm looking to try it, I'm looking to get into a used setup or possibly a new setup, things like that. And today I just kind of wanted to run over the basic kind of things with you guys as far as what do you need, boots, binding, skis, what boots work with what bindings, what skis work better with certain styles, things like that. As far as really the basic thing is you're looking to try it, get into a setup, what's next? If you're local here to the shop, you come in, kind of get the spiel from any one of us here at the shop. If not, you're looking to get online, looking for a used setup, looking for a new setup, and that is what I'm here to talk with you guys today. So really the basic thing is, what will you need? What do you as the customer need to get on a telemark setup this season? Starts with boots. Boots is probably the most important piece for your telemark setup, at least for me personally. Having a boot that's comfortable, having a boot that fits well and you enjoy skiing. You don't want to be in a boot that you struggle with or is uncomfortable, things like that. And that's kind of the first step. So I got a couple of my boots in front of me. I want to go over the 75 millimeter style or the NTN style, where there are different bindings that work for those different types of boots. To start off, we will go over the 75 millimeter or the classic duckbill style boot. This is going to be more of your intro, more readily available if you're looking to get into a used setup. Duckbill boots you can find pretty easily, as far as we definitely are getting some duckbill boots here in the shop, as well as, people that are switching to the NTN or upgrading to the NTN. You can find some of these 75 millimeter boots used, ready to go for you. That is kind of your first option and thing to look into. This is a little special boot as far as it being a 4-buckle, things like that. There are a bunch of options. You got the T2, little lower cuffed, less buckles, a little bit of a softer boot, things like that. Great option to get into a beginning setup, and that would then work with your cable style bindings. This is the 22 Designs Vice binding. As far as getting into it or things like that, this is definitely the binding of choice for most of us here at the shop. It's the binding I ski personally, Vice or Axle. This is what's going to work best, or I guess work it only with the 75 millimeter boots, where you have this toe cage for that duckbill, then you have the classic cable around the heel of your boot. Definitely can find used setups with different styles of binding like this, where you have the Targa, you have the Chili, you have the old Black Diamonds bindings, the 01, 02, 03, things like that. So that is kind of your 75 millimeter intro, 75 millimeter boot. You got that duckbill up front, and then you have your 75 millimeter binding to go with that boot. And then you kind of look into the NTN possibility of, you're wanting to get into it, but you're pretty positive you're bought in, you're ready to go with a new setup, new boots, some new bindings, things like that, or possibly you find a used pair of NTN boots for a killer deal or something like that. The NTN platform is going to be a little bit different as far as you can tell, there is no duckbill on the front of the boot anymore. That is essentially, easy way to think about it is they pretty much moved that duckbill from the front of your boot and put it underneath your boot here. As you can see, you have the second heel, or duck butt as some people like to call it. And then that is going to be your NTN platform, which works with a different set of bindings, where you have then the Outlaw X, which is kind of our preferred binding, things like that. You still have that toe cage up front, but you have the claw in the rear of the binding, which is what the duck butt clicks into there. So you still have your toe into that front piece, and then you have your duck butt that clamps into that rear assembly. That is a fairly basic intro to boots with what bindings they work with. As far as possibilities and things like that, you definitely will have a bigger market or an easier time finding a used setup, or a little bit of a cheaper setup if you go the 75mm route. You can find boots, find bindings and skis, things like that. If you are looking more in towards the NTN, you do have the option for tech toe bindings with a TX Pro or older TX style boot, Scott boot, stuff like that, where, you know, if you're looking to maybe get more into touring, things like that, that's kind of the road you can go down as well. But as far as intro, that's kind of, you have your 75mm, you have your NTN. They have, NTN definitely will have a couple more positives as far as lateral control, step and ability, things like that. That is for another video. But as far as getting into a setup, I just kind of wanted to touch base. I know it's kind of confusing as far as, you know, maybe you have a boot or a friend gave you a boot and you're stuck. You don't know, I don't know what binding, things like that. And hopefully that's a little bit of a help for you guys to know what boot you have or what boot you're looking for, stuff like that. NTN 75. As always, if you guys need help with anything, as far as you have a boot, I need help finding a setup, I need bindings and skis, things like that, that's definitely something we can do for you. It can be a little crazy as you are learning and getting into it. We're more than happy to help, and we love seeing new tele skiers get into a setup. It's awesome for us here at the shop, and we love helping you guys out. So as always, be sure to, if you have any questions, to shoot us an email, give us a call, anything like that. Freeheel Life on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then telemarkskiermagazine.com. We got some new stuff going on there live soon as far as content, articles. The snow is starting to come down here in Salt Lake City. We're getting excited. Ski season is here, and we are here to help you guys get a new setup. So as always, guys, it's been Miles with the Lowdown. Talk to you later.